In the previous lesson, we stepped through an overview of SOLIDWORKS assemblies. In this lesson, we are going to take a look at various methods for going into the assembly environment, along with the assembly command manager. Let's begin by looking at the different methods for entering the assembly environment. One of the more common methods is to simply select the new icon. The new SOLIDWORKS document dialog box opens, and notice we can select the part, assembly, or drawing. We want to go into the assembly environment, so obviously we're going to select assembly and then select OK. Now typically when you go into a new part file, you will see the Feature Manager design tree on the left-hand side of the screen. However, when you create a new assembly, instead of seeing the Feature Manager design tree, you will be presented with a Property Manager for Begin Assembly. This message here is asking you to select the first part for the assembly. Now, if you have any open part files or open assembly files, they will be displayed in the Open Documents window. You can select one of these parts from this window, or you can browse for another part. I am going to select the U bracket from the Open Documents window, and then select a point on the screen, and it will position the part. Now we're in the assembly environment. Now before we discuss the command manager, let's take a look at the other methods for entering the assembly environment. I'm back in the part environment. Another method for going into the assembly environment is to select the drop-down and then select Make Assembly from Part/Assembly. Yet another method is to go to the File drop-down and select New, and you're presented with the same dialog box as earlier, or to select File drop-down and then select Make Assembly from Part. Once again, I'll select the U bracket, select a point on the screen, and it positions the U bracket on the screen. Now, let's discuss the command manager. Notice we have an Evaluate tab just like we do in Part environment. However, on this Evaluate tab, we have some new commands specific to the assembly environment. However, we also have some familiar commands that we've seen back in the part environment. We also have a Sketch tab, along with a New Assembly tab. Now, a few of these commands in the assembly command manager are familiar to us, the different pattern commands, reference geometry, but we also have many new commands for creating assemblies. And we'll be discussing these in later lessons.